Okay, this is just a really quick, very boring video, but mostly it's for the new guys out there. I just got back from the range and I'm cleaning my Glock 26, and everyone cleans their guns a little bit differently, but this is how I do it. I take a toothbrush, which I normally buy at Walmart. You get like a dozen of them for like $1, something like that, $1.50, and they're great for just cleaning out the initial dirt on a gun. And I put it on a cloth and I just really rub out any kind of hard pieces of debris that's left inside it. Make sure we clean the striker mechanism, the extractor, all that. Again, this is for people that are brand new, that maybe have never cleaned a Glock before, and this is the way I do it. Everyone does it a little bit differently. I like to use this CLP. This is something that I do. I take it, it's like a foam, and I let it sit inside the barrel for a couple of minutes, and I let that just sit there. And then I use the little, little cloths like this, wipe out all the crap from it. This is a gun that I use mostly for IDPA. And so I like to keep it, pretty clean, as I do all my guns, but not ridiculously clean. It's like a little bit of a working gun. I carry this one sometimes, but anyway, you take these rags and you just clean this whole thing out like so. What I then do is I take my brush, a copper brush, and I run it through the barrel a bunch of times, turning it just like this. And if you haven't fallen asleep by now from this boring video, we take that, and then I take another cleaning rod after I ran the CLP through it, and I put another cleaning rod, cleaning cloth on it, I should say, and I just run this through a bunch of times. I twist it around so we get all the lands and grooves inside that. So we take that, garbage, we take another one and put that through there, and that's really about as detailed as I get on cleaning the barrel and so forth. Once in a while I'll use a lead remover on it, but for just basic cleaning after I shoot a round or two, a couple hundred rounds or two, I'll just do this and clean this like so. And then what I do, take another rag like this, and I spray a little bit more of the CLP on it, just a drop, and then I clean the inside of the slide mechanism, get all the gook and dirt out of that. You can see it really gets kind of filthy. And the little plunger right there, we wipe all that out inside the frame, inside the front here. We get all this stuff, take it all out, use another cloth, and pretty much do that until the cloth is clean. And it's very simple. And then at this point, this CLP, let's clean the inside of that, and we just wipe that down a little bit, give it a visual inspection, make sure the feed ramp is nice and clean, as that is, just like that. It looks good, and that's about it. I check the rails on here. I just use like the cloth again to my fingers, go down into the magazine well, wipe that out, and that's pretty much it for me. That's how I clean it. I have a really good gunsmith that I take my guns to every like year and a half or so, and I let him do a complete breakdown. This is as far as I go with it. And then the last step is that I put a little bit of this Tetra grease on all the exposed metal parts, these little tabs on the side. I put it across the top, little tabs on the back, just a little bit of grease, work that in with my fingers. And then I go on the inside of these rails like this, and I put some grease there, put some more on the inside. Doesn't matter if it goes over the whole thing, because when you move the action, it'll cycle it and it'll get in there. And I just do that with my finger. I even put a little bit on the inside over here of the slide. Totally get that done. I'll put a little bit more on the barrel, and I'll take a little more, wipe it with my fingers on the feed ramp. And finally I just smush some of this around on the recoil spring. So this is how I do it. You guys might do it differently. And then what we're going to do is just simply reassemble it. So the first thing, we hold the slide upside down, we stick the barrel in, we take the recoil spring, we pop that in like that, mush that grease a little bit more with my finger so it's on the rails like that. And then what we're going to simply do is take the receiver, hold it in our hand, and we're going to take those little tabs and stick them in the back like that. Easier said than done. We're going to stick those in the back like this. Okay, and then basically what we're going to do is slide it back a couple of times and then slide it all the way back. Dry fire it, dry fire it, and then we lock the action back, check everything looks good. And then what I normally do is take one of these rem oils, these rem oil wipes like this, or these Hoppies wipes, and I give it a final go over. Stick it down into the slide here, back up into the magazine well, close the slide release on it, wipe the whole thing down again, and do the front of the barrel, do the sides. This is probably a good video to watch right before you go to sleep, because it'll make you nice and tired. It's so boring. But again, new guys out there, it's good to see how other people do it. I'm not saying the way I do it is 100% right. If I did something different than you, please leave me a comment, let me know. But so far, this is what's worked for me, and I'm going to keep doing it this way. And then finally, after that, I take a gun cloth that you get on Amazon, 3 for $10, and I wipe the whole thing down, get rid of the extra oil on it, and voila, it's done. And at that point, I could take the magazine, which I also wipe down. It's already reloaded. I take the magazine, stick it in. This one has a pierce grip extension, and then we're done. So that's a cleaning of the Glock 26, and very basic gun, one of the easiest guns to clean. One of my favorite guns, 10 round magazine, 9mm. All I could have in my state is 10 rounds, so that's about it. So, all right, thanks very much and enjoy. Have a good night. Okay, here is the first part of the video on the end of the video. So where I just showed you how to clean the Glock, now I'm going to show you how to take down the Glock. Even though it's been done many times before on YouTube, we're going to do it one more time. This is the takedown of the Glock 26. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the magazine out of the gun. So magazine is out of the gun, and then we're going to rack the slide and make sure there's no rounds in the chamber. I know for a fact by feeling this extractor that there is a round in the chamber. So what we're going to do is we're going to clear that by racking that slide back, and as you saw, the round came out. So then we're going to lock the slide back. We're going to zoom this out a smidge. We're going to lock the slide back, we're going to feel it, and we're going to look down there and we're going to visually inspect as well as tactically inspect it and make sure there is no round in there. So we know there's no round in the chamber, and then what we're going to do is close the slide. At this point, we are going to fire this gun in a safe direction, and this is a wall with the layer of steel behind it that I'm aiming at, and we're going to fire this gun, which is going to depress the hammer on the internal striker of this gun. So now the gun has been fired, and at this point, these little tabs that you see on the front of the Glock, we are going to depress them both downward. As we do that, we're going to pull the slide back. This is called an armorer's grip. Once we do that, the slide will then break free. So let's do that one more time. We know the gun is clear. We're going to fire the gun in a safe direction, and these little tabs that you see on the side here as well as here, we're going to push those down, and at the same time that we're pushing them down, we're going to put our thumb underneath and we're going to pull back slightly while we're pushing down, and then we're going to release the slide right like this, push and release the slide until it comes off. At that point, we have the receiver and we have the slide. We're then going to take out the recoil spring, and then we're going to pop the barrel out. And that's it. This gun's already just been cleaned and lubricated, as you saw in the beginning of the video, and that's it. So it's a little backwards, but sorry about that. But I did that other video on a spur of the moment as I was cleaning my Glock. I figured, let me show this to someone who could possibly benefit from it. And then we put the barrel back in, we put the recoil spring back in, we hold the receiver in our right hand, we line up these little tabs that you see right there, and we are going to rack it, and it's back in action again. Lock the slide back, everything's good, and at that point we could put the magazine in, and at this point the gun is now safe and ready to go into my safe for storage. So thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.